Hello and welcome back to High Ridge Farm with me, the Walrus. We now enter into Wednesday and Thursday. Possibly my favourite day of the week because it's the middle. No, of course not. Anyway, it's my least favourite day because Pierre's shop is closed because he's a lazy work-shy peasant. And it's his own fault for not wanting to do Wednesdays, grumble, grumble, grumble. Anyway, got a lot of stuff to harvest this morning. As you can see, got lots of corn, got lots of mixed berries, got some hay to harvest. So we've got quite a nice selection of extra gubbins to grab today, which is absolutely fantastic. As, of course, I would much rather be able to get a hold of my crops and get everything sorted. One of the things that I do need to do is organise getting some upgrades done. Now, the upgrades that I'm thinking of are the house and the other tools. Now, of course, the axe is currently being worked upon to improve to a golden axe, which is nice. Also, the name of a fantastic game title from my childhood. I absolutely adored that game. The funniest weird thing was, it was one of those... I never owned a Sega Mega Drive or anything, and that was the game console that I remember it being on. But my grandmother owned one. So my grandmother and grandfather had a Sega Mega Drive with Desert Strike and Golden Axe, and my brother and I played it to death. Absolutely adored it. But anyway, there's random tangents there. One of the things that I'm now going to go and do is, other than view Linus having himself a bath, I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, if he's going to be living in the wilderness and such, and you're going to kind of want to clean yourself, there's nothing wrong with a nice clean bath of fresh water. And it's a nice enough lake. So fair enough. As long as you're not polluting it. Now, I'm going to try and sort out the upgrade to the house. Now, of course, this upgrade will actually give me a kitchen, which is fantastic. So that's 450 pieces of wood. I brought 800 because I couldn't remember exactly how many it was, so I thought it'd just be easier to grab it. Okay. Now, this is one of those weird little bits of dialogue that I do genuinely feel really bad for George here. Because I understand that Penny wants to help. But one of the things that I remember being taught quite early on in my young childhood, because I actually had a disabled teacher. She wasn't in a chair, but she had crutches, and I think she was missing a leg. I can't remember exactly. It was many, many years ago. And it was very much of a, don't put your hands on somebody's crutches or chair, because it's literally an extension of their body. And it just seemed like... it feels really disrespectful of Penny to just put her hands on George's wheelchair. Obviously, she's got good intentions, but having good intentions doesn't excuse the fact that you violated somebody's bodily autonomy, essentially. It's like picking someone up to move them out of the way. You wouldn't go and grab a child in the supermarket and lift them out of the way because they just happened to be in your way. I mean, unless it's your child, and that's also, you know, that's a very different kettle of fish. But, bless her, Penny tried. But it's one of those odd things. I think having been exposed to that sort of thing from quite a young age, you kind of get used to it as a sort of a statement. But hey ho. Anyway, so we're going to get some more blackberries. There's quite a lot more, which is good because the more of them I can keep a hold of and just turn into preserves, it's a good, easy way of making money. I do want to have more preserve jars, but of course that requires certain materials to manufacture them. Now, here we go. I'm now going to get my golden axe, which makes me very happy. And I'm also going to smash up a bunch of geodes, because when I brought the axe in to be upgraded, I totally forgot to get these geodes smashed up beforehand. So I do feel like a bit of a wally in that regard. But I'll get them done, and that'll be good. Because, of course, random stuff out of them, I might get something I can donate to the museum. I just can't remember at what point when you donate stuff to the museum that you actually get the sewer key. I'm assuming there's a certain item, or is it a certain threshold of items? Because I know the museum does have some weird donation type things. It's a peculiar one. But hey ho. Now, okay, so we've got one that I can donate to the museums. That's nice. Just sell the others because I don't really care. And off we go. Let's just quickly donate said artifact. And let's slap it there. So nothing of excitement there. That's a shame. Anyway. Now, next task I think is going to be heading back over to the farm, felling a couple of trees that just happen to be there and in the way, because, yes, nice and easy, I think. And what else will we do? Let's put that there, put that in here. I've got some more eggs to put in the mayonnaise machine. And what other things do I need? Okay, so I still need a few more resources. I'd like to make some bee houses. So wood, coal, maple syrup. Not impossible to do. I think I've got the resources for it. There we go. So let's grab some coal. Let's grab some iron and some wood. And then, of course, maple syrup. I'd like to get a little bit of honey before the seasons change because they're not active during the winter. Understandably so, as they essentially hibernate. It's quite adorable, and it's quite a tradition within beekeeping, at least within the UK. I don't know anything really about beekeeping traditions outside of the UK, but on Christmas Day, you tell the bees that it is Christmas. And you give them a sugar syrup that you've made. Because, of course, you've taken their honey, which they would normally use. So, of course, like you essentially get like a Kendall mint cake that doesn't have the mint flavouring. Now, for those viewers out there who don't actually know what one of those is, a Kendall mint cake is essentially a brick of sugar with a peppermint flavouring. It's one of those sorts of... It's not really a very good sweet thing, but it's actually a high density calorific bar of pure sugar. So as a diabetic myself, it's lethal. But they're actually designed, they're used predominantly by mountain climbers and those sorts of people, explorers. So my uncle did a lot of mountaineering when he was younger, leading scout groups and doing stuff like that. So keeping a few of those on his person was very sensible because sometimes you can get absolutely exhausted and it's just a useful thing. But yeah, you give the bees a Kendall mint cake without the mint. So essentially you just give them the pure sugar, which, shockingly enough, they quite enjoy. And yeah, I'd love to have some bees. And again, it's been one of those things. I miss being able to interact with bees because they're kind of interesting creatures and they're quite adorable. They really are. So yes, if any of my viewers do know a bit more about other traditions regarding bees, please tell me because I want to know. I want to know what your country's specific traditions are about them because it's just a weird little thing that I quite enjoy. Anyway, right, so I'm going to scythe down all of these plants, going to chop down a couple more trees, try and replenish the wood stocks, because I did use 450. I'd like to get up to about 1,000 wood, because having a good stockpile isn't exactly a terrible plan, I don't think. Because that will just give me the ability to manipulate and build things, and you know, there's a lot of useful wooden structures out there that I kind of need. The barn being one of them, which I definitely cannot afford right now, considering I've just done a house upgrade. I would quite like to get a couple of barns, one of which I will use as a preserve manufacturing barn. So I'll just try and fill it with preserve jars and kegs and just use it as this is the fruit processing building. This is what happens here. Because they have a greater internal footprint than external. Now, of course, I'm getting exhausted, so I'm going to have to be very careful because I don't want to collapse from exhaustion. Or generally be very sluggish because it will hamper my efforts for tomorrow. So let's quickly stroll on back up to the farm and deposit my ill-gotten gains. I think I should also quickly slap the other eggs into the mayonnaise machine because I think the other one should be ready. I think one of the things I should do is probably take the mayonnaise machines and put them inside the coop, because then I can just process the things instantly in a, faff less. Less energy intensity or less requirement to traits. Probably an important aspect, because then I can prevent myself from distracting myself and doing silly dumb stuff, which admittedly is 90% of my general life, doing weird dumb things. Now, I really need to figure out getting some better quality crops as well, because the Grange display is coming up soon and I need some good stuff. And that's kind of what worries me, is I need to make sure that I get the right sort of good things for the Grange display. Now, of course, I've not looked up anything because, again, I'm avoiding using the Stardew wiki, as I think it's a bit more fun going in blind. And having forgotten a lot of the early game, it's quite interesting going, oh, hang on, that's a thing as well. And I do need to figure out how to achieve the best Grange display. That's kind of the big thing. So we will see. So let's just quickly fling these mushrooms in here. I think those apple trees must be very nearly ready to start fruiting. What other things? Oh, I still need to get the amaranth, I think, by the looks of things. That shouldn't be too hard. It should not be too difficult. I think I'm growing a large swath of it. Anyway, now, what other things I need? Okay, so I want to make a couple of worm bins. I don't know if I've got the fibre for... No, I don't. Okay, so that's another thing I need to do, is make a couple of worm bins. But that's not too difficult. I just need to hurry up and get some more fibre. So I might even make some fibre seeds, if needs be. I forget how effective it is, though, because I know with the grass seeds, they spread. I'm kind of curious. I might have to sort of experiment with that. Anyway, so I've got a wild plum, and I think that's pretty much it for today. So, right, on to Thursday we go. Is there anything that we get? So we've got quite a stash of money from selling useful foraging and farming goodies, which is nice. So an extra nearly 7k, so that's replenishing the cash monies. Now, of course, I'm going to be woken up by a hammer being slammed into the side of my house because Robin's going to be there from early o'clock till, goodness, I don't think she ever actually leaves your farm when she's just actively there. She's just like, yep, I'm going to do what I need to do. Could be worse. Okay, so let's quickly finish watering a couple of other things. And, you know what? I'm going to pickle some corn. Can't remember how much it actually sells for, but hey, might be quite useful. So let's quickly water all of these things, and we can finally get the yams, which now means I can complete the autumn or fall bundle in the community centre. Now, the eggplant's not so helpful, but, you know, it's value. I've already done the eggplants anyway. So, fantastic stuff. So, we'll quickly harvest the aubergines or eggplants, and we shall go from there. Righty. Now, let's quickly fill that back up. I've harvested the amaranth as well, so I'm going to have to quickly pop down to Marnie's ranch and have a quick old chinwag with the lovely lady herself. Put that in there, put that in there, put that in there. Oh, I totally just noticed the pile of extra miscellanea that I could harvest, which I wasn't paying attention to. Oh well. Now, let's just quickly go into my little area here. I probably need to trim some of that grass because there's quite a lot of it. Egg, egg, egg. Nothing exciting there, just some eggs. And we'll go in here. And once the duck egg hatches, so then I'll have 3 chickens, 3 ducks, and then I'll put the dinosaur egg in the incubator. Hopefully I should be able to do that, because I can't remember if I need the biggest coop for that. I know I need the biggest coop for bunnies, but I can't remember. Ah well. We'll cross that hurdle and bridge when we come to it. Now, what I'll do is I'll just quickly put the eggs into the mayonnaise machine. Righty, now let's distribute some of this guff. So the basic level stuff, my plan is to pickle it or turn it into preserves, because I think really the higher quality stuff has a better value when sold for most crops like this. But because I think I've got the farming perk that gives me more money from resources when you farmed products when you sell them, if they are of a better quality. Or generally, if you sell farmed goodies, you get more cash monies. Yeah. I do enjoy a good old bit of cash monies. Now, considering I'm going to have 7 animals in the coop, I should probably build 6 or 7 mayonnaise makers in there. Because thinking about it, some of them will only produce once every couple of days rather than every day. But that's not impossible to do. Now, I think giving Marnie the amaranth will probably give my friendship with her enough so that I can enter her bedroom and recover the mayor's shorts. Now, I do need to do that second video of the real dumb stuff that you can do with the mayor's shorts. Because there's quite a lot of amusing stuff you can do with them. So I might have to quickly do that at some point. But that will be a hurdle we can cross when we come to it. Now, let's just quickly harvest these berries. That's not difficult. And have a quick stroll around here, so nothing looks like I can fell it, as I've already felled many of the trees in the area. Because I'm a vandal. More than anything, that's all I am. I'm just a terrible vandal, and I just chop down trees because they're there. Also, I need the wood. Thank you. Okay, so we've got another blackberry and a blackberry bush. Ooh, nearly lost that one. Let's just check these bins. No, nothing exciting. Oh, that was close. Nearly got seen rummaging in the bins. Because, you know, that's totally what you need to do. You go outside, you open your front door, and then you see your, not really reclusive, but your farmer neighbour just rummaging in your bins, being like, oh no, what's in here? It'd be great. Okay, so the ghosts, blah, blah, blah. Okay, Pierre, let me buy some seeds from you, please, because I need to replace some of the plants that I have now lost. What do I feel like growing? I think some pumpkins, maybe? I mean, they're a good investment, a good value, but maybe some more amaranth, because I like the stuff. It's purple, and purple's one of my favourite colours. I have a terrible habit of when I paint stuff, because I paint miniatures, and yeah, I paint purple all over the place. Lewis, you dirty old goat. There you go. There are your lucky shorts that you left in Marnie's bedroom. You savage. It is a shame that he's like, no, we need to keep it hush hush. It's like, I'm pretty sure that nobody in the village really cares. And also, I haven't seen an election happen in this little village. So, is this a hereditary position you've acquired, mister? But we'll see. Okay, so my artisan bundle, I just need some fruit for that. And here we go, the yam into the fall crops. Ba-ba-da-da, yeah. So I've got a bee house, wonderful stuff. So I just need to finish the artisan bundle, which is any more 5 of those items, which I think the fruit and the honey might be the easiest ones to do. Truffle oil and the animal bundles. So I think what I need to do is quickly save up and get myself a barn. I think that's really what I need to do. I need to get a barn. so I can get the other bits. So I think that's going to be the mission. Next is to get Robin to construct a barn for me, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to do it before the end of the year. Because that's my aim, is to get the greenhouse done before year's end. Now, I know we're only 11 days into the fall, but we are quite a chunk of the way through the year. And I'd quite like to get the barn, and generally as much of the community centre bundle as physically possible. I think I also need to try and get Pam her job back by... I forget what I need to do to get the bus operational again. Because the desert... I'd like to visit the desert, please. Okay, so we will sell that blackberry, we'll sell that one, and we will put the blackberries in there. So we've got only 165 of them, it's only a few. And let's plant some more amaranth. I mean, that won't take too long. It's another 7 days to grow. It looks nice. I like purple. Just literally that simple. Might not be the most cash intensive or cash effective way of growing crops, but if I like the look of them, I'ma grow them. And what I will do is, I think fairy rose honey is the most valuable honey that you can get. So, hence why I've planted some fairy plants. Whether it'll be useful, very different question. Okay, so I've got a few more yams that I didn't notice, so that's some more things that I can quickly organise. So I still haven't got enough fibre. I still need more of it, don't I? Because the fibre itself is phenomenally helpful for doing a few things, like the worm bin and that sort of thing, because I do really need the worm bin to be done. Because I actually want to generate more what's the word? Bait. I can't believe I just forgot the word for bait there. Oh well. Right, so we're going to quickly explore the mines until I run out of energy. I mean, it's nice that I got some copper. Not what I was expecting this far down, but if I can get another... I'd like to see if I can get down to the floor 115. That'd be nice as well, because that'll be another 5 levels. I think 120 is the bottom of the mines. So that'll be good, as that'll be another quick reward there. Now, of course, because I'm not really in here to try and get as many resources, it's more get down quick. That's the current aim. Just the further I can get in the mines, the faster, the better. It's kind of what I need. Let's just slice you up because your face exists, you horrible slime, and the way down. Slice that one up. Oh, yay, some wood out of a barrel. Or wooden box, or whatever it was. Oh, go away. I mean, just smashing up the wooden things is quite useful, because you might get something helpful out of them. Like that. I think I might be able to make a bomb out of that. That might be useful. I think I might have to do that. Because I can just blow up a large section of the map, and that'll save me having to mine it. Haha. I think that is going to be something I need to do, is actually start making bombs, just generally. Or purchasing them from the dwarf when I can actually, 1, see him, and 2, talk to him. Because at the moment, I do not speak dwarf. I think you need to get all the dwarf scrolls to be able to speak dwarfish. Which is impressive if that all you need is 4 scrolls to learn a language. I wish it was that easy. I really do. I spent years learning how to speak German. And for any German viewers and listeners out there, I've just completed my B2 in German. So I now have a proper German qualification in the fact that I can do a good Deutsch, yes. I can barely do a good English, so it's a miracle I've managed that. Suitably bizarre. So let's just quickly mine up a bit more in here that I don't need to worry too much about. Is there anything else? Rocks, 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 blah, blah, blah. Okay. Well, I've got myself down to floor 115, so that's good. And I've got a magma and an omnigeode, so that's quite nice, because they tend to have reasonably useful rewards in. I might be able to get something exciting out of it, which would be helpful more than anything, as I'll be able to get potentially another reward, in a sense. because the more stuff I can donate to the damn museum, the sooner I can get my way through it. I would very much like to get the museum as full as possible. Again, it's not that I'm trying to complete the entire of Stardew Valley in a year. I know that's actually feasible, but it does require some absurd luck. But no, I'm trying other stuff. Okay, so let's just quickly work my way down here. As I've said before, I think what I will do is possibly look at downloading a couple of mods after the first year. I don't really know what mods are available because I've never really looked into it. And Stardew is one of those games that I've never really modded because I tend to mod games to either make the gameplay harder or something interesting, like if it's a particularly curious addition, like maybe extra crops or something of that ilk. But the trouble with the extra crops is I'd have to make sure they aren't ones that are going to break the balance of the game and just give me absurd amounts of money too quickly. And that's going to be a big thing. So hey, if anyone's got any recommendations, please list them below because I will happily look through what recommendations you have. Because more stuff that I get to do in Stardew, the better. I love the game, so I'm happy to experience all sorts of weird and wonderful extra stuff. Now, of course, we're coming to the end of the day. Pretty much exhausted, so I'm just going to distribute my gubbins away in the chests. There's Robin. It's 11 o'clock. You should probably go home to your husband. But no. She's happy just to thump the side of my house with a hammer. You do you, champ. You do you. Okay, so got a little bit more in the miscellaneous monster box. We're going to put some more gems away in here. Again, that's just useful stuff if I need to make some money. More than anything, I can quickly flog it for a bit of cash. Red mushrooms, they're not that helpful. I'm sure there's something you need red mushrooms for. I just can't remember what. I actually feel a little bit guilty. I cannot remember for the life of me what you use them for. There must be a recipe or some clothing or item that you need them for. Oh well. But they're not exactly difficult to come by. So I'll live. Okay, let's just quickly throw those in the chest. And I think that's going to pretty much wrap up today's episode. So let me just double check if there's anything else in here that I need to faff with. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, you know what, I'll just actually attach the dressed spinner to my iridium rod because I can. Yeah. Righty, so that is going to wrap up today's episode. And hopefully you've enjoyed, and I will hopefully see you again on the next episode of The Walrus Plays Stardew Valley.